Grace Games channel. Today I've got an Amx 12t review for you. You can see it here in my garage, quite small, quite nippy and low to the floor. It can really terrorise the enemy team. I've probably had it for a couple of months now and I've really been getting to grips with it and enjoying it. But I wanted to make sure that I gave it a fair trial before doing this video. So I'm going to show you on the tech tree now. It resides between the ELC Amx down at tier 5 and the Amx 1375 there at tier 7. You can always go onto the RT line from here, but that's not something that I'm personally interested in doing. I want to keep going with the light line if I can. I've heard great things about the Amx 1375, I've heard excellent things about the Amx 12t. It seems like this is a really good line all the way up. The ELC Amx, the one that came before this vehicle, I enjoyed so much. I mean, I got the Ace Tanker in it and I really just loved it. It was so good, and you really felt that even at tier 5 you could terrorise higher tier vehicles, and you felt that you could really hold your own. I think in that respect the Amx 12t is a slightly different vehicle. Although it's a higher tier, I don't really feel like it can defend itself as much because it's got that auto-loading gun. With not such a high alpha, I feel that it possibly can't defend itself as much, but it is much better at spotting your allies. It's still good at nipping around and, you know, going hit from one side of the map to the other and changing flanks. It's got lots of good things going for it nonetheless. And that's just my personal opinion. You may think differently. So it's got 600 hit points, which is very competitive, and it's got a top speed of 60. I find the top speed to be adequate, but I feel that it takes a long while to get going. I feel that the acceleration is a little lackluster, and I feel that if I was in a situation where there's enemy tanks pointing their gun at me, I want to get straight out of there. And I feel that sometimes with the Amx 12t, when you're getting out of there, you get shot getting out of there. Yeah, I feel like the acceleration is what's letting it down, not the top speed. But yeah. Let me show you the gun now. The gun is an auto-loader, and it has 6 shells in the magazine. It's extremely fast reloading. It only takes 20 seconds to reload the whole clip, which I think personally is excellent. The ELC Amx that came before did not have an auto-loading gun. In fact, it took about 12 seconds to reload just the one shot. However, it did have much higher alpha. The ELC Amx did 240 with just the one shot, whereas this does about 140, 150 per shot, but it has got 6 of them. So I suppose it's, if you get hit by one shot, someone might think, oh, it's only 100, who cares about 100 health? But if it keeps firing at you, and it will do, then 6 shells is a lot, and you're really going to take a chunk of their health. So in that respect, it's very good. I kind of think of it to be quite similar to the Walker Bulldog or even the T-37 Americans, whereas rather than doing one big boom, they'll just wear away at your health instead, and they kind of will annoy you, because they'll go from one flank to the other and they'll annoy you. So yeah, it does in fact have less penetration than the ELC Amx, which I find a little bit odd. I would think they would have more being a higher tier, especially as it's going to be seeing tier 9 vehicles, and yeah, they are going to do some damage if you meet a tier 9 vehicle, so you need to be able to do some damage back. Its aiming time's quite competitive as well. So the gun on the whole is pretty darn good, and I didn't even have that many problems with the lower guns. I mean, I like the top gun, of course, because it was the auto-loader, but I didn't really have many problems with the lower ones either. You could easily do the grind for the top gun with the vehicle itself. So, as for armour, the armour has about 50 at the front of the hull, 20 at the sides of the hull, and 15 at the rear. As for the turret, it has 40 at the front, 20 at the sides, and 20 at the rear. I mean, that really is next to nothing, but I'm not sure really if that's really an issue in a light tank. When people are choosing a light tank, I don't think the armour is probably the first thing they think about. I mean, it is going to face tier 9s, and if you do come across a tier 9 and it shoots you, you're probably going to get one-shotted or thereabouts. But yeah, that's just one of them things that happens when you're playing a light tank. I don't think the armour is really something that we need to worry about with this. It does have 380 view range, which is also quite competitive. As you can see here, I've got my 3 little crewmen here, and they're on 94% of their camo skill, or the middle one, the gunner, is on 34. So I've been working towards the camo skill for a while. I do tend to play more as an active scout, zooming across the map, than I do as a passive. But I kind of wanted the camo skill anyway, because I thought it might in those situations where I can be passive, it might encourage me to have a go at being passive instead. So I'm working towards those, and afterwards I think I'll definitely try and get 6th sense on the commander. I don't know what I'll do for the others. So yeah, definitely working towards that 100%er. And as for equipment and consumables, I don't have any premium consumables. I never do on any of my tanks of any tier. And as for equipment, I have the torsion bars, which are great if you want to zoom around, great for the light tanks. And I've got a camo net. Now, I don't think I really use the camo net a lot because, as I said, I'm quite active, I'm always moving around, and yeah, it's not something that I use a lot. But I'm going to keep it on there for now and maybe swap it out one day. I've got one more slot left, but I don't really know what I want to get there yet. I mean, its aiming time isn't that bad, so I've thought about getting the GLD, but I'm not sure. And as for coated optics, I think you need to be still, don't you? You need to be stationary, so for the binoculars, and the coated optics, you don't have to be still, but I don't know. I'm still deciding which one of those. Maybe I'll get none, maybe I'll get one or the other, I don't know. I still need to decide on that one. So yeah, as I said, it's quite a different machine to the OCMX. I kind of wish I kept the OCMX so that I could have both, because I think they've both got good things going for them, and they're both quite different. But yeah, I've really enjoyed playing it. I've got 2 replays to show you. I've got the first replay that I ever did in it, the first game I ever did, and I've got one that I did just last week. So you'll probably see the difference there, and you can see how much not only I've improved, but hopefully it'll showcase everything that the vehicle can do as well. Okay, so this is the first match I told you about, the first game I ever play in the 12t. I'm on Amx and it's a tier 7 match. At this point in the game, I'm sort of just getting to grips with it, seeing how fast it goes, trying to work out what the reload's like, that sort of thing. You know the sort of thing you do in the first game. So I've come over to the city side, and what I probably should have done is gone straight over to F2, F3, and started going through those buildings and trying to spot, or perhaps even going up the 5 line and trying to spot near the train tracks. But no, I decided to stick near the back at first. I think this is just because I'm getting to grips with the vehicle. So I've gone towards the town, and now I'm just sort of trying to catch up with everybody and sort of do a bit of damage, really. At this point, I'm still treating it a bit like I would with the OCMX, treating it more as a damage dealer than as a spotter. So you might notice that in this game I don't do very well because of that. But yeah. So a few of our teammates have begun to die. There is a KV-85 over there, and in the OCMX I would totally have him. But I decided to sort of take my time. I haven't really fired the gun before, don't know what it does, want to make sure I can get him, and I end up losing his chance. I'm hoping that he'll come back so that I can get a shot in, but the tiger seems to have got that area covered now. I don't want to accidentally shoot my mate by mistake. So, move back, I'm considering what to do. I don't feel like I want to go wading in anywhere with my health pool. I can take a hit, but I don't want to. So I just try and aim at this tiger through the gap, but I don't penetrate his armour, and then I get a critical hit. It's a bit of a shame, really, because I think it would have been really handy if I could have penetrated his armour, but it was fun to me, so yeah. I'm immobilised here, and I decided to use my repair kit. I want to get straight out of there, and I just managed to critically hit that VK. I do consider chasing after him, but I know that there's another VK, the 3002M up there, and I don't want to get shot by that. So I decided to just let the VK do whatever it wants to do with our E25. I was trying to stay in this middle bit. I know I'm not doing a lot. I should have done more, but you know, it's my first game. You've got to forgive me for that. So I noticed that there's another VK now, and I start to put shots into him. I should have probably reloaded my clip, because I only had 3 left in my clip there, and now I've run out. So unfortunately now I've got to do my reload, which is not the ideal time when a gun's pointing at you, and yeah, it doesn't end well for me there. But yeah, it was my first game, and I was trying to show what the tank could do there, but I'm sure the next game you'll find much more interesting. Okay, so this is the second game I've got for you that I played only a few days ago. It's on Prokhorovka. Again, I'm in the Amx 12t, and I've decided to head to the middle. It's sort of a bit more obvious on this map where all the lights should go, because I could possibly go up the hill, or maybe even go down the 1 or 2 line, but I think it would be almost certain death, especially with such a weakly armoured tank as this. So I decided to go down the middle and see what I can spot. I do end up spotting that Panzer 38A. And I don't really want to hang around. I definitely don't want to pause to shoot anybody. Oh, nearly hit my mate there. Really close. Nearly ran into him. There's like 3 Amx 12Ts on our team, which is crazy. I don't know why we need that many. But it just shows how popular the tank is. So, yeah, clearly not the only one around driving it. So I'm just zooming up and down. Obviously don't want to stop. Obviously don't want to... I mean, it's a matter of I'm spotted, but I don't want to be hanging around too long and letting the enemy team take an aim at me. So just doing what I can. I'm not the only one taking this position, but It's just one of those things, really. Sometimes you only get one light on this map, and sometimes that's better, but yeah. So off I go again. I know there's definitely the enemy Amx 12t and the Panzer 38 NA spotted, and the Amx 12t is very close there, very close to our side. I almost thought it was going to come over our side then. So I'm just zooming up and down, and he's already lost some of his health, the enemy Amx 12t, so I start trying to wear away the Panzer. I'm not aiming very well, I'm just sort of zooming past, so I decided to use the auto-aim function, which works much better. I've not tried it in the 12t before. In fact, I try to stay away from auto-aim as much as possible. I don't really like using it, but it came in handy really a lot in this game. So, again, using auto-aim, trying to aim at that T-29, a very dangerous target, and definitely don't want him to point his gun at me, but I'm taking the odd shot, you know, and then I'm zooming on out of there. Now I'm going, you can see that the speed is excellent. It's just the acceleration that it really lacks. So now I'm moving around, it's perfectly fine. But yeah, if I stopped and then tried to get going again, you would definitely notice the difference. And you can see the T-43 up there, but because I don't have great aim, you have to wait for the aiming circle to close, and I think I stopped here, and I do think that was a mistake. I think I probably should have kept moving. So yeah, this is when I start taking hits. You should never stop. Not in a light tank. There's that cheeky Panzer 38 NA. So, at least he's not got all his health now. So he can easily be took out with just one of my shots if he pops over to this side. Again. So again, just doing the same thing I've been doing all match. I mean, really, as I said, you do rely on your teammates a bit to do spotting damage. But you can also do damage yourself here and there. I think you just have to do it carefully. So I'm continuing down the part of the map that I've been tending to stay down on the 1, 2 and 3 side of the map that I've been staying on the whole entire time. I know that there's obviously the S-35B back there, the Panzer H. You know, I don't want to be getting in there with them. I definitely want to just keep zooming around, take the odd shot. I don't want to be going up to them or anything like that. That would be crazy. We've still got all of our Amx 12Ts alive, which is very good, but I don't know if the other two Amx 12Ts have been getting quite as stuck in as I have. I think they've been staying slightly further back. So I decided to zoom across to this side briefly, narrowly avoiding the Panzer 38 and A shot, and end up getting hit by him the second time. So, yeah, back to this bit again. Now, he's only needs one shot and he'll be dead, so yeah. He probably shouldn't have come across to this side, but I think he was a bit too eager to kill me there. I think he thought he could do it, but unfortunately not. And of course, I am quite low on health now, but it was just one of those things. Definitely doing better than I did in the last game, anyway. Just being a little cautious here. I fear that VK may want to take a shot at me. And unfortunately, I ricochet off him, so I really could do with a bit of that extra pen, just so that I could just get his turret if I needed to. I'm not sure if even the LC Amx could have penned that, but yeah, it would be nice to pen things turrets, because sometimes then it just makes it easier, doesn't it? With something that's taking ages to aim, you can just take a shot, quickly pen, it's done. This is the 87 there. No, I'm never going to be able to pen him in a million years, but I want to keep him spotted so that our team can. We've got Saint Emil back there, so maybe he can do something. I'm getting closer. I suspect that it'll be hard for me to penetrate his armour. I do manage it there, but that was directly in the side, very close up to him. And I do end up losing my tank there. I think it was probably an error to come across to this side. I think really for lights on this map you do have to stay in the middle on the F line. It really was a mistake to come across here because the E25 did see me. The 88 and the S-35 behind him probably would have seen me sooner or later if I got a bit closer to them. So, yeah. It was a lot better than the last match, and as you can see, I am improving. It's just going to, I think, be an uphill struggle to improve with it. I think I just need to practice and practice and practice. But yeah, I hope this showcases what the tank can do. I hope you've enjoyed it. And don't forget to give it a like, and leave a comment, and even subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you for watching. Bye!